Bernardo Silva says Manchester City do not fear Real Madrid ahead of their UEFA Champions League semi-final clash on Tuesday evening. City are set to reignite their Champions League rivalry with Real Madrid this week, having faced Los Blancos at the semi-final stage last season too. On that occasion, Pep Guardiola's side came out on the losing end of the tie thanks to 3 late goals from Rodrigo and Karim Benzema at the Santiago Bernabeu. A sensational first leg at the Etihad Stadium ended up 4-3 in favour of City, and they extended that advantage until the final minutes in Madrid, Rodrigo dramatically scoring 2 goals in 2 minutes to take the game into extra time. Benzema then would convert a penalty to book Real Madrid's place in the final, which they would emerge triumphant in against Liverpool thanks to Vinicius Jr. 1 year on, Silva, who is on the radar of Real's rivals Barcelona, has reflected on the defeat, but is adamant that City don't fear their illustrious opponents despite last season's heartache. "We have a lot of respect for them, yes, but not any fear at all," the 28-year-old said. "Why should we fear them? We'll try to keep the momentum we've built over 2 months to arrive very confident to beat them, knowing they won the Champions League last season for a reason. It's not about the badge, it's never about the badge. It's about the players that are on the pitch. If Madrid didn't have Luka, Modric, Toni, Kroos, Vinicius, Benzema, I could say all of them, they wouldn't win anything because the shirt doesn't do it on its own. We'd be stupid not to respect them, but we have that goal knowing we lost last year in tough circumstances. This time we will try to make it different." The citizens go into the tie as one of the most informed teams in Europe, having won their last 10 games in the Premier League, and enjoying an unbeaten run of 20 games in all competitions. Real Madrid midfielder Toni Kroos has responded to Wayne Rooney, after the former England international claimed that there would be no comparison between Manchester City and Real Madrid in their clash in the Champions League semi-final. He seemed rather unfazed, in typical Kroos fashion. Rooney had said in the lead-up to the tie that Real Madrid would be destroyed by Manchester City, and that Pep Guardiola's side are now far better than their opponents. Ahead of the game on Tuesday night, where City travelled to Madrid for the first leg, Kroos told the press that it was the same as last year. "I think it's always the same. I remember they said 1 or 2 things last year. Nobody expected us to win it and we were able to do so. Apart from the words," he said, "Rooney is a guy I like a lot. It doesn't affect us or motivate us more, because it's impossible to be more motivated. Los Blancos were underestimated last year, and it is no doubt of them in Spain that many feel that the English press are keen to overvalue their own sides, as may perhaps be natural in many countries. However, doing so with Real Madrid in the Champions League seems somewhat foolish at this point." Real Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti has confirmed that Croatian midfielder Luka Modric will start against Manchester City at the Santiago Bernabeu on Tuesday night. The pair face off in the first leg of their Champions League semi-final on Tuesday night. Modric has missed games against Almeria and Real Sociedad, after picking up a muscle problem against Girona nearly 2 weeks ago. The Croatian veteran came back ahead of time to face Osasuna on Saturday night in the Copa del Rey final, playing the final 15 minutes of the tie as Los Blancos saw out a 2-1 victory. Speaking in his pre-match press conference ahead of Manchester City, Ancelotti confirmed Modric would be starting. "He can play without any issues. When Luka Modric is fit, he plays. He will play tomorrow." He was later asked about the position of Eduardo Camavinga, who could either appear in midfield or at left-back, and whether he knew who would be starting in midfield. Ancelotti again used the question to confirm the presence of Modric. Yes, it's clear. Modric and others will play. Camavinga, he's not a typical fullback, with and without the ball, his position changes. Sometimes he plays as a midfielder, goes between the lines, he is not a fullback that goes on the outside much. We have Vinicius on the outside, who is very dangerous. Camavinga has been placed at left-back in all of Real Madrid's big games of late, with good results. If that is the case, Fede Valverde, Toni Kroos and Modric will likely start in midfield. Should Ancelotti prefer a more defensive stance, he could move Camavinga into midfield in favour of Nacho Fernandez at left-back, or Valverde to the right side of attack, instead employing Aurelien Tchouameni in the middle of the park.